Hey everyone, I want to walk you through the steps to taking out the VID00082 over at Lake Travis. So when you arrive at the dock, you're going to go get the key. There'll be a lock there. So open it up and the key will be inside. So I want to make sure that you got the key and you got the registration card. You'll hop over to the boat. There should be a clipboard right on the seat when you arrive, and on it read the instructions that are at the top. There'll be a detailed inventory list, right over here, explaining all the stuff that should be on the boat. If for some reason this inventory list does not check out with what you find on the boat, give us a call and let us know so we can make the change. Be sure to check the fuel level, and I think we're ready to go. So we'll see the key and the ignition on this boat. Now on this boat, you do not need to pump the fuel twice. You don't have to do that, but you do have to wait for the fuel to get to the fuel injectors. So you'll turn the boat key to the on position, and you'll hear a bunch of alarms. Let those alarms kind of go off on their own, and in a few seconds, it will be able to start the car. Start the boat.
33 KGSR.
Okay. So once the well, let me turn the radio off. Okay. Once the alarms have stopped, you'll be able to crank the boat. Crank it gently. You don't need to use a lot of force on this. Just crank it gently. Now the boat starts up kind of quietly. Once you hear that thing start, release your hand off the ignition, because you don't want to keep cranking it because it's going to be hard on the starter. Also, if it doesn't crank up the first time, do not crank it harder, because if you crank it harder, you'll eventually break the key. And if you do this when you're out on the lake, you could wind up ending up stranded until we can rescue you. So anyway, so that's about it. You'll let the boat warm up for a few minutes, and then you'll undo the dock lines, pull yourself out. It's always a good idea to walk yourself out, but when you're walking yourself out, be sure to be mindful of the wakeboard rack up there. We've actually turned the wakeboard rack up to avoid hitting these poles, but use a lot of caution when you're pulling the boat out and when you're pulling the boat back in. Walk the boat out by hand, and then kick it into reverse and back your way all the way out, and then kick it into drive and go. Be sure you're not kicking up a wake until you get outside of the no wake zone area, which is out there. And that's how you take out the 22i.